Hi everyone, I'm Amy with Booktubing Amy, and today I have the best 15 books of 2015. So my reading goal this year was to read 50 books, and actually impress my own self when I read 55 books this year, and I was so happy that I read 55 books this year. So these are 15 of my top favorite books that they may not necessarily have come out in this year, but these are the books that I read and completed this year. So the first one is The Deal with Ellie Kennedy, and this is her hockey new adult romance, and I just love it so much. I pre-ordered the book. It comes out on January 11th, so a couple days from now, and I'm so excited for the third book. Oh! Now the second book is actually still on this list, but it's not second. It's still a really good book, but I gotta give it to the first book. I just, oh my gosh, loved it. If you have not picked up this book, 100% pick it up. It's amazing and funny and oh my god, it's so good. Oh my god, read it. Totally read it. The second book for this, my top favorite, is Tangled by Emma Chase, and I actually met her twice. The first time I didn't read the book, the second time I read the book. Oh my gosh. If you're looking for a good book to read that's really funny, that no doubt what mood you're in, you will die laughing, this is the book for you. Drew is one of my favorite characters ever to read about. His mind is like, it's kind of like, okay, so I'll compare it to, to, have you ever seen the movie The Ugly Truth? That's kind of like this. Yeah, I was highlighting like everything that he said in my Kindle because it was that amazing. And I actually had it on my Kindle, bought it on my Kindle, and then I bought the physical book, and then I met her, and then I'd signed, and it was amazing. And I'm so happy I read this year because it was during finals that I read this. See? Signed. So, yes, if you have not picked this up, this is my second pick, and it is amazing. My top 3 is Real by Katie Evans, and I must say, this one was awesome. I loved it. It was about Remy, a fighter. I don't know what kind of fighting, fighting in a ring, but he was the alpha male to the extreme. I fell in love with him when, trying to think, this spoiler word, nah, it's not spoiler word, it's first half of the book. He jumps off the boxing ring. As you know, I'm really familiar with these terms, and runs to meet the girl, and I'm just like, oh my god, yes, that. I actually think, even though those other two books are my favorite books of the year, I have to say that is my favorite scene of the year. Yes, that is a thing, yes. I love this book. I'm like tempted to go read it again, but it was amazing. My next 2 actually are written by the same author in the same series, and it's called Heart of Iron, and the fourth one, I skipped over it, is My Lady Quicksilver. These books, oh my gosh, I don't know where they came from. All of a sudden they're like, hey, Amazon's, hey, you should read this. And I'm like, okay, what's it about? Steampunk in that time. And I'm just like, with vampires, I'm like, oh, why not? I read the first one, I was just, if I had read the first one, it would have definitely been in this year, but I read it if I read the first one in 2015, it's 2016 now, I would have put it as the first one, I think. I really do, because it was that good. And I flew through these. I have never read 4 books in a row. By that, I think it's 4 books. 4 books in a row. I'm holding that number. Until I read this author, and I was just like, give me more, I want more. And fun fact, she's coming out with a new book. I'm so excited! Because I thought the series would have ended, but it didn't. Ha. Also, fun fact, she's from Australia. Fun fact. My 6th choice is More Than Comics by Elizabeth Briggs, and I must say, this book was awesome. I am smiling so much because of how awesome it is. I actually did an interview with her, and she was amazing, and the book is amazing. This is my favorite of her books, I think, ever. Yes, this is my top favorite of her books. This is about a guy and a girl that meet at new adult. They meet up at a comic book convention or anime convention. I think it was comic book. And the romance from there, it was awesome. And the things that they reference, because I've been to, I think, like 4 anime conventions and like 2 comic book conventions. And it's just the things they reference from there, it's just awesome and spot on. And I was just like, it's so cute. I'm like tearing up because of how cute it is and how much I wish that would happen to me. But that was adorable. And if you have not picked it up, I would, if you're hesitant to pick it up and you want to start with the best one in my opinion first, I would start with this one first. That's what I would pick. My 7th choice for the year is Kresley Cole's Shadow Claim. And in all honesty, I don't think I could have wrote this list this year without writing one of her books in. And actually I think I have 2 of her books in because I was reading more of her books in one year. Anyway, but I love this book. It was kind of medieval and it was awesome. And if you have not picked it up, pick it up for sure. I love this book. I love Kresley Cole's books. I really do. But I love it when a book just like sweeps you up in the story. This is what happened with this one. And if you have not picked it up, so pick it up. So my 8th choice for this year is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. And I must say, this is the first time I've read a Colleen Hoover book and I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not spoiling, but I did not see the ending happening. Clueless. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. Everything does. If you read the book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This was an amazing book. I loved it. I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I know I'm saying oh my gosh, but these are my top favorites. So I'm more tendent to just say, oh my gosh, read it. So you should read it. And my 9th choice is Dark Sky by Kresley Cole. See, I told you there'd be another Kresley Cole in here. And first of all, I have to say, I love the cover. The cover is gorgeous. That's not the reason it's on this list, but it is a good reason to be on a list. Anyway, I love the book. I cannot believe how much they hated each other at the first of the book. And I was just like, there's no way they're going to come back from it, but they actually did, and it was really amazing. My 10th choice is Darkness Everlasting by Alexandra Ivy, yes. Now this is the first book that I've read from her, and I was blown away of how I have not read this series. The first one didn't get super good reviews on Goodreads, but I skipped to the 3rd one, because that makes sense, and I loved it. So I bought the whole series on my Kindle. But I'm going back and reading the 1st and 2nd one eventually. I think I'm going to go forward and then go backwards. But I'm super, super excited about reading the rest of them. But this book was amazing and I cannot wait till I read the next of them. But it was just so nice. And I think Levitt there's like a little gargoyle. I think his name is Levitt, I'm pretty sure. He is my favorite character of this series because he is really funny. And he's in all the books. All of them that I've read that I can remember. Yes. And if you have not picked up this book, I would start with this one because that's actually the one I started with and I got along fine. But yes, pick up her books because they are amazing. My number 11th choice is The Last True Vampire, and this actually came out in 2015, so I'm actually on the first bandwagon. Woohoo! I love this book. This is actually a new author as far as I know, and it was a cool book. It was about vampires, and of course in the name, he's the last vampire, and it was really good. And I was fangirling for months to get to read the second one, The Warrior Vampire. Let's see if I can pull it out. I gotta reorganize all my shelves. The Warrior Vampire, and I have not read it yet. I feel bad for not reading this because I fangirled so hard for the first one. But I have it on my Kindle and in paperback now, so there's like no excuse. This is a huge book. Not size-wise, but like size-wise, it's huge. Size-wise, huge. Anyway, but I'm super excited to read the next one. But yes, this is my number 11th choice. So my number 12 is The Mistake by Ellie Kennedy. I loved this book. I really did. However, I loved those other books that I just mentioned a little bit more, so which is why they got kind of shoved in front. But I loved this book. If you have not read it, read it. It's not my favorite of the series because there's like two. So this is the first one, the Deal, I think it's called. The Deal is my favorite. But they're coming out with the new one on January 11th, if I have not mentioned this enough, called The Score, and I'm so excited. I pre-ordered it on Amazon Kindle, so it should be delivered to my Kindle at midnight. So excited. I'm thinking about maybe I'll finish all my books that I'm reading and then like wait. I don't know if I can do that, but I'm kind of excited a little bit, if you can't tell. But yes, this is my 12th choice. My 13th choice is Lothair, and I loved his book. This, I have to say, I think the last scene was like one of my favorite scenes, and Lothair was awesome. He was awesome. Like, awesome. I know I'm not saying a lot because I don't want to spoil, but he's awesome, and if you haven't read it, pick it up. There's a reason I gave it 5 stars, and also I think this one is, yes it is! It's signed. Yes. I'm so excited. I'm meeting her this year, I want to say in April, and I'm bringing like all of my books. The last time I met her, I forgot them all at my house, so I was just like, are you kidding me? So I had to buy them all from like Half Price Books and Barnes and Nobles. And my number 14th choice is Lover Reborn by J.R. Ward. I was really scared to read this because of the fact that it's Thor's book. I felt so bad, like I'm already almost crying because of what happened. I don't know. I can't say if I'm spoiling it, the rest of the series, but if you know the series, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm almost tearing up right now, partly because I got dust in my eye when I was doing my makeup, but also because I was so happy with this one. It was so good, and I just wanted to, I walked around the house, reading my Kindle, screaming at the characters, like, stop being mean to him, stop it! But to be fair, he kind of needed that, but I was just like, oh, my baby, just, oh. I'm so happy that I finished it. Yes! Now I got to read The King, and then I think it's called The Shadow next. But I will be caught up for The Beast in April, I want to say 12th, or no, 11th, April 11th, yes, when that comes out, because I will read it when I get it, because that is a must. I'm getting it on Kindle, and I'm getting a signed edition through her website, because that is a must. The 15th choice is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I did really like this book. I gave it a 4-star. This is the 4-star I was talking about. But I think it just didn't have the oomph to push it over to a 5-star. There's a lot of books that I have that I read that are really good books, but they don't have the pull at my heartstrings that make me go fangirl or whatever to push it up to a 5-star. I'm very hesitant to give out 5 stars unless I feel the book really deserves it. But this book was a really good book, and I actually have the next, to the latest one on my Kindle, and her other series. I've not read that either. But I'm super excited for the next book, and I gave it a 4-star, and it was really good. If you haven't picked it up, my friend who reads these kind of books, all the teen fantasy all the time, she's like, this is the best book ever. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, it's really good, and I cannot wait for the next one. So these are my top 15 books for 2015. Have you read any of these books? What are your top 15 books for 2015? Make sure to comment below. I love reading comments. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, I will see you in another video. And as always, go find your inner reader. See ya!